decided to apply for a fellowship to Stanford because one of my professors at Illinois Tech said that Stanford was a very good school. And I was accepted. I was really surprised that I was accepted, but pleasantly surprised. And I reported there in 1954 in the fall. And almost immediately I met Mary Pagels, who also went to Stanford at the same time, and she was working on her master's degree in education. Well, I think I mentioned that when I got to Stanford, I met Mary Pagels, who I eventually married. We dated for about a year or so and had a good time together, so I figured, well, she might be the one. And we got married in Menlo Park in 1956. And I was already impressed with Mary, you know, because she was a really cute girl, very friendly. But when we got married, that's when she really showed me her stuff, because both of us had rather poor parents, so they couldn't afford to take care of a wedding. And also, they were at least 1,000 miles away, and my parents were 2,500 miles away in Chicago. So Mary took the bull by the horns and made all the arrangements. She got the flowers, and we went together to the church in Menlo Park. I think it was the Episcopal Church, but I wouldn't swear to that. And I sent out all the invitations, and we had people coming from all over the country, because we've been both bouncing around, she on the West Coast and me down below in Los Angeles. We didn't want to have any kids for a while because I was working on my thesis. But when it became clear that I was going to have my thesis approved, we decided that maybe we could have a child. And like a miracle, 9 months after we decided that we might have a child, we had one. And she was Barbara, born in November of 1957. While we were living in Sunnyvale, actually we lived in Sunnyvale for 33 years. And while we were there, the first couple of years, in 1961 and 1962, our sons were born. First Craig, and then Dave. In 1993, I was 63 years old, and I would have worked more, but the kind of research that we were doing was being cut back by the government, so getting contracts was very difficult. So I agreed with the corporate office that I should just close my office and retire. And so Mary and I had been looking around for several years with other people at various retirement communities, and we came up north of where we were living in the Bay Area, and took a look at Lake Wildwood, which is not too far from here in Grass Valley, about 15 miles. And we loved it. I mean, Mary liked to play, well, we both liked to play tennis. We did that most of our lives. But anyway, I designed my own home, and it turned out to be a 3,500 square foot, 2-story building right on the lake. And one more time, three times in my life, I had luck in finding a place that was just a perfect place to live. And I can thank my realtor for that. And that's the reason I built a really nice place there, because I knew there aren't that many beautiful places on the lake here at Lake Wildwood. So let's build a nice place. And it was nice enough that all of our kids always came up. Every summer they'd come up 2 or 3 times, and in the winter they'd come up and they'd take my 4-wheel drive and go up and go skiing. And it was really fun to see that they were coming and enjoying themselves. And of course, we were part of it, at least to the extent that the older bodies could participate. So the thing that both Mary and I were involved with was the South Yuba River State Park. And eventually they talked me into being a docent there. When I first got there, I would just do odds and ends and take photographs and so forth. But they said, no, why don't you just be a docent and join us fully? And so we became official docents in 2003, and I'm still working there. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the covered bridge at the park, but about, I think it's 7 or 8 years ago now, the old wooden structure started to rot, and they were worried that it might actually rot off its foundations. So they went through a very long and involved procedure of getting funding from the state government to fix it. And thank goodness I'm still involved with that. They're going to start fixing it as soon as the rains stop here, which we hope will be about April 20th, thereabouts. And when that starts, we have a team already put together of 7 photographers that are going to always be there, photographing everything that goes on during the construction process. And they'll be taking movies, and they'll have drones flying overhead to make sure they get good coverage. And as all these photographs come in, they're going to post them to the net. And then I'm going to go to the net and download them and put them all together to tell a continuous story that we will release to the public. And that's the plan. Let's hope it works, because I'm going to be really embarrassed if it doesn't work, but I think it will. Because I've made a lot of videos over the last 15 years or so. I think I have about 160 by now. And that's going to be a great service, I think, to the park, and it's also going to be a lot of fun. And it'll be a nice wind-up before I do the big fade here at Eschaton. Although I shouldn't say that. Eschaton, the code here at Eschaton is we're not fading. We are getting the most out of our life, and I think they do a good job of helping us get the most of our life. In fact, this whole opportunity to be close with you two guys and find out what you're doing and you find out what we're doing, I think that's great. And we do a lot of that here at Eschaton. And I just hope you're that lucky as you go through your lives. And if there's anything else you want me to say, I'll say it. Otherwise, I'm going to shut up so you guys can go back and do something useful.